Sotheby's has been selling fine art at auctions since 1744. Last year, they announced record sales of $1.9 billion. Meanwhile, in New Jersey, Sunny's on her way to a very different type of auction, but more on that later. It's Friday, and paintings are being hung in the gallery in preparation for sales week. My friend François de Portereux, an expert in the Old Masters department, is busy supervising proceedings, but he kindly spares a few seconds to show me around.
This is, estimate-wise, the highest valued painting in this room, and it's valued to 6 to 8 million. In French, we call it glacis, which is all the paint structure, and it's remained fresh and great.
And so this 6 to 8 million?
This is 6 to 8 million. We're very confident we'll get to it.
So this is the second most important piece in the sale?
It could be considered as the first one. Rembrandt don't come up anymore. This is a beautiful study. He's really studied light here. The estimate is a really reasonable estimate of 3 to 4 million. You try to have an estimate which is competitive, yet not, too cheap either. So it's just a balance of, getting people excited. Because then they think, Rembrandt for 3 million, I can have a shot.
On Sunday, the viewing gallery opens to the public so potential clients can inspect the paintings. Potential clients can be museums, always seeking to increase their collections, or dealers who buy works that they believe have been undervalued and then resell them at a premium, or private collectors. Amongst this mixed multitude, I bump into my friend Virginia, an insider able to divulge precious insights into this intriguing little world.
Everyone smiles and everyone has their answers and everyone has their ways and everyone knows who to trust and who not to trust. And there is a bit of a class thing because a big part of what they do here is drum up clients. And, to have clients, you have to know rich people, and to know rich people, usually you have to be one. Like the auction people, what they're doing is they're watching how someone looks at a picture. It's how they understand if he likes it or not. It's actually how his eyes work and how he reacts physically to it. And it's all done in this very sly way. So
why do you think that is?
There's a lot of money involved.
To further discuss this fascinating subject of art and money, Virginia introduces me to her friend Xavier Solman of the Frick Collection.
Prices on works of art are always a totally irrational thing. And however much someone is going to be willing to pay for that, then that's the value for it. Most museums see auction houses and dealers as a necessary evil, I would say. You live by them because you have to buy works of art. But you also realize that, they're in it most of the time for the money. But this obviously brings us to the point that we're now, where paintings are going for $70, $100 million. How do you justify spending that amount of money on a piece of wood that's about the size of an A4 piece of paper?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sotheby's. We have your competition today, a sale of important Old Master paintings.
Lot number 10 now is by Rembrandt. $2,200,000 for this. $2,200,000 now. $2,600,000. $2,700,000. Bidding? $2,800,000. $2,900,000. $3,500,000. At $3,600,000 then. You still there? $3,600,000. Anybody else while we're waiting? No? $3,700,000. $3,800,000. He
seems to be finished.
He's finished. $3,800,000 then I have on my left at $3,800,000. There's one last chance at $3,800,000. Last chance.
Why didn't it go for more, do you think?
Because a lot of Rembrandts come on the market, and although the leading expert in the world thinks it's a Rembrandt, there's always questions.
No. The attribution is full spot on. That's not a problem.
There's always, doubt as to attributions on things, so it's not, it doesn't make it bad. It's just a question of, what sort of piece you want and what you're buying it for and what it means to you. So.
Who bought it?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
This whole thing is about discretion. I mean, discretion before the sale is important, because if you know that somebody wants a picture, you might feel more inclined to actually bid for that picture. Once you've been going to auctions for a long time and you start knowing the crowd, it's usually, easy to find out who bought the picture.
Yeah, like who bought the Rembrandt or the Jack Pinto?
I'm afraid I can't tell you that.
Yeah, the Jack Pinto went to the Met, and the Donatello went to the Kimball. I think they're both going to be very happy with them.
In general, we're very happy. We made over $50 million this morning.
Do you see yourself as a salesman or as an art lover, or is there a contradiction?
I'm more an art lover than a salesman. It's about the buzz of finding a picture, and if it makes a great price, fine. I did that because I like paintings.
Some people are passionate about art. Others are passionate about cows.
I enjoy working with cattle and livestock. I mean, this is what I do. This is what I am.
Grant is the 5th generation of Harrises to run Cowtown, a livestock auction in western New Jersey.
Farmers will start bringing their cows in about daylight.
Early in the morning, the cows come in and they are put into pens. They are tagged and weighed and numbered.
A great many of our consigners are local farmers who are neighbors and friends. I know them very well and all like that. And very often I can look at a cow and tell you who it belongs to. But,
Really?
But still, you have to make sure you get it right. This is a lot of people's, this is their living, and it's their money. I mean, that's how they make their living, so you gotta be pretty accurate.
Grant explained that the cows being brought to auction are usually old milking cows from the neighboring farms, and he showed me how to estimate their value.
Yes, stay behind me. Let's see if she'll turn around. Let's look at her front end, not her back end. Come on, Mom. She's an older cow who's not carrying a lot of flesh. She's obviously here, she's got an injured teat, and which is not good for milking purposes. And she no longer has any value on the farms, and they send her here. And this is basically a recycling. Let's just talk about the Holstein here at the end of the alley. She's going to probably dress in the real high 40s. I don't think she'll quite go 50% dressing weight. A dress will be the percentage of usable meat product compared to her weight on the hoof. She's got a pretty sizable bag there, and that's a waste product, but there's a limit to what that old cow's going to be worth because she's only got so much commercial value to her.
So what would she be used for?
They would slaughter her, and most of the meat from her will go into what processed meats, which would be bologna and hot dogs and that kind of a thing.
Okay. At 12, it's the calf and goat and sheep sale.
60, 70, 60, 70, would it give me 2, 72, 72, 70?
8 more.
Don't have it. This may not work, fellas. And I got the camera here on me. Good Lord, I never had it this bad. $1.95, $36.55. Robbie.
Unfortunately, Grant was sick, so he called on his assistant, Robbie.
$1.70 and 2. Have it up, take it up, take it up, take it up, 15. Have it up, take it up, take it up, 20. And 2. Have it up, take it up, take it up, 5, 25. Have it up, take it up, take it up, 30. And 30 and 2 and 5. Have it up, 35. Have it up, take it up, take it up, 40. And 2. Have it up, take it up, 5, 45. Have it up, take it up, take it up, 50.
The reason an auctioneer sells fast is to keep everybody on their toes. If you go fast, they get caught up in it and they bid pretty quick, which makes more money for the seller.
What is it that you say in between?
In between.
150.
I usually use a filler word, they call that, and it would be like 1. If I use 1, it would be and 2. Give 2. How get them on 2? Get them on is what I usually say.
Get them all?
Yeah, get them on.
Get them on. Okay.
Because that rolls real easy.
Okay.
Get them on 2. Or get them on 3, get them on 4, get them on 5.
On top of the incredible speed, you might also have noticed the winking.
They do like to be discreet. You'll see a guy who twitches a little finger, another guy that'll look off over there, but you'll see him wink out of the corner of his eye.
Sometimes they're bidding on something they don't want somebody else to know because they can get it for a lesser price. In other words,
Because
if they
otherwise somebody else will bid against them.
Yeah, yeah.
At 3, chicken and eggs.
10 dozen nice brown eggs.
And the grand finale, cows and bulls. The auctioneer has to be very careful not to get trampled over by the bulls.
The cows are all pinned in the back of the barn, and they're brought up through a chute, and they're individually weighed on our scale. And the old chalkboard there flips over, and that'll have the cow's identification number and her weight on it. And when that scale door opens, by the time she walks halfway up this ring, I'll have an idea of what she's worth.
54 and a half. 7 and a half. 51, 50 and a half. Sell them.
As Sonny and I exchanged impressions about our respective auctions, we realized that they were not as different as we had originally thought. They were both businesses after all,
Selling a product
with a certain value,
to a certain market.
using certain techniques to gently guide the buyer.
You know, it's the usual demand business.
And it is a supply and demand thing.
Nowadays, we've got very few slaughterhouses left and a lot of the foreign market, Muslims and stuff like that.
A very important market is Saudi Arabia and those countries. A lot of things are going on there.
We have dealers bidding on their own animal to raise the price. It's a little unethical to do that.
Dealers do consign at auction houses, but usually it's not set.
Because there's always been collaboration with dealers, but it's usually been unspoken.
Collaboration in what way?
$10,000 for this, $10,000, $17,000 at the back. 2,400,000, 2,600,000, 2,700,000, 4,200,000 with Geraldine, $4,200,000. Last chance.